You didn't land on this video by mistake. You didn't stop here because you were bored and had nothing else to do. Something inside of you pulled you to pause when you could have easily kept scrolling like always. And yet, you stayed. You're sitting here, listening, because a deeper part of you knows it's time. Time to face the things you once avoided. Time to bring forward what you used to bury. Time to finally confront your own reflection, not just in a mirror, but in your life. This isn't some sweet, sugar-coated story. This is the kind of truth that used to sting so much you'd ignore it. But now, something's shifted. You can feel the words landing differently. You're not who you were a year ago. Maybe not even who you were last month. And I know this because people who aren't ready click away the moment things get real. They scroll, they escape. But you stayed. That's your signal right there. This moment isn't about what's happening around you. It's about what's waking up inside you. You're not chasing quick answers anymore. You're searching for deeper meaning. And here's the powerful part. You don't actually need someone else to define you. You're starting to remember who you are all on your own. And here's the crazy truth. Most people think being ready comes with thunder and lightning, some grand announcement, a breakthrough that shakes the earth. But in reality, it rarely looks that way. It comes quietly, almost unnoticeable at first. It sneaks in during those late nights when you're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this is really all there is. It shows up when you're around the same people you used to vibe with, and suddenly their conversations feel shallow. It shows up when your old hangouts feel empty, when the routines that once felt comfortable now bore you. That's not you breaking down. That's you shifting. It's like the world is whispering to you, but you've been drowning it out with noise, scrolling, binging, distracting. Yet that small inner voice won't shut up. It grows stronger, not louder, but more persistent. And here's where it gets undeniable. You'll try to slip back into the old habits, the familiar comforts, the easy distractions, but they won't work the way they used to. They don't numb you like before. Because once your soul begins to wake up, there's no snooze button. There comes a point, and maybe this is yours, where you can't keep pretending. You can't keep saying, "I'm fine," when something deeper inside is whispering, "You were made for more." Not fake happiness, not empty success, not followers or validation, but real alignment, real peace, the real you. And once you feel the gap between who you've been and who you're becoming, that's the turning point. That's when life refuses to let you go back. And here's the funny part. When this shift happens, people around you don't notice at first. You're still showing up, still smiling, still ticking the boxes. But inside, it feels like chaos, like something in you is screaming for change, but you can't yet put it into words. That's the scary part. You sense a storm building. You know something big is coming, but you don't see it clearly. You're standing between two worlds. The old you no longer fits, but the new you hasn't fully formed yet. And that in-between space feels like nothing is familiar anymore. Your old goals no longer light you up. Old friendships feel hollow. The future feels like a blank canvas with no sketch. But here's the twist. That blankness isn't failure. That emptiness isn't confusion. It's the clearing before creation. You're being emptied out, not because you're broken, but because you are being cleared for what truly belongs. The old version of you was surviving. But this next version, this is the one who thrives. Yes, it feels lonely, but it's not the loneliness that destroys you. It's the kind that teaches you how to stand tall without a crowd, how to choose yourself without guilt, how to trust timing even when it feels illogical. You're not falling behind. You're simply arriving early to your own future. Think about it. Ever notice how right before something changes, everything seems to fall apart all at once? Relationships you thought were solid suddenly crumble. Habits you thought were harmless suddenly feel toxic. Even your mindset starts breaking open like glass. It feels like the universe is against you, but that's not true. What's really happening is life is stripping away everything that cannot travel with you into the next chapter. It's a spiritual cleansing. The version of you that's about to emerge, they're lighter, sharper, more focused. They don't have time for what once distracted you. And life knows that, So it clears the weight before you're even ready. Not to hurt you, but to free you. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think their life is falling apart because they did something wrong. But no, it's falling apart because you did something right. You grew. Even if it doesn't feel like growth yet, even if you feel like a mess, the truth is, this is the part where discomfort comes before clarity, where the storm hits before the sun rises. And here's where most people give up. They panic. They run back to what's familiar. They beg life to restore the old, even though the old was suffocating them. But not you. You're still here, still listening. And that matters. That means you're further than you think. Stay in it. The shift you've been sensing, it's already underway. Now, let me tell you something most people never expect. This didn't happen randomly. You didn't just wake up stronger by accident. This awakening has been written into your story all along. You were always meant to be cracked open, because something within you could only surface once the old version of you broke apart. And yes, I know, it doesn't arrive gently. It doesn't show up with soft music and peace. It arrives like a storm that rips apart everything you thought was solid. It's messy, it's disorienting. It makes you question yourself and everything you thought you knew. But here's the truth. You're not falling apart. You're being rebuilt. You're becoming someone who doesn't live for approval. Someone who doesn't collapse under pressure. Someone who doesn't fold at the first sign of struggle. Because deep inside, you knew this moment would come. You just didn't know it would feel like this. And here's the real breakthrough. It's not the event itself that wakes you up. It's what the event activates inside of you. That pull in your chest, that whisper urging you not to go back. That's the real you rising from the ashes of who you used to be. So stop resisting it. This message didn't find you by chance. It was always timed for this exact moment. Not earlier, not later, but now. Because you finally reached the version of yourself who can hear it without running away. Stay with this. You're standing right on the edge of something bigger. Now think about this. The signs in your life didn't appear after you had it all figured out. They started showing up when everything was falling apart. Why? Because real clarity doesn't come when you're forcing control. It comes when you finally let go of it. And if you look back, you'll notice something. The biggest turning points in your life didn't come with loud announcements. They came quietly. They came on lonely nights when you sat in your room wondering what's next. They came when someone walked out, when a plan crumbled, when the path you clung to suddenly stopped making sense. That breakdown you thought ruined you, that was the doorway. And only the ones who refuse to turn back see what's on the other side. The truth is, plenty of people get the signs and ignore them. They go back to jobs that drain their soul. They stay in relationships that are already over emotionally. They keep numbing themselves with habits that disconnect them from their truth. But you're here. You didn't stumble here by boredom. Something in you knew this was meant for you. And you can feel it, that this isn't just another video. This is speaking directly to you. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about being fully healed. It's about being awake enough to finally stop pretending. Once you hit that point, there's no unseeing it. There's no pretending you didn't notice the shift. Fake no longer satisfies you because you've already tasted something real. Have you noticed how loud the world feels, yet how empty most conversations are? Everyone is racing to look successful, to look happy, to look like they've got it together. But behind the smiles, they're tired, anxious, living just for the weekend, scrolling endlessly for 5-second highs that disappear as fast as they come. And here's the truth. None of that will ever fill the void, because what's missing isn't more stuff, it's meaning. And I know you feel that. You wouldn't still be listening if you didn't. You've been through moments where life stripped you down, and you realized the dreams you were chasing weren't even yours. They were expectations handed to you by people who didn't know better. That's not your fault. But now, it is your responsibility. Because once you wake up, you can't unsee it. You can't go back without feeling that ache, that whisper inside saying, "This isn't it. Keep going." And when you ignore that whisper, life doesn't punish you. It just waits. It waits for you to stop pretending, to stop brushing off the signs, to stop acting like the shift you feel inside is coincidence. So, if you've been sensing change coming, You're not imagining it. You're not losing it. This is real. Life has been showing you the signs all along. You were just too distracted to notice. But now you're awake. And here's the wild part. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about releasing everything that drains you. Let that sink in. How much of your life is filled with things you don't even care about, but you do them because you were told they matter? You wake up and instantly get pulled in 50 directions. Notifications, pressure, expectations. But deep down, something in you has started to shift. You're not reacting the same way. You're questioning. You're pausing. You're noticing what doesn't fit anymore. That's the beginning. That's the crack in the loop. That moment when you ask, why am I even doing this? That's your nervous system recalibrating. That's your intuition stepping forward. And no, it doesn't feel comfortable. At first, it feels like you don't belong anywhere. Like the world you used to fit into no longer matches you. But that's not a problem. That's the signal. People around you might not understand. They might think you're pulling away. But the truth is, you're getting closer to yourself. And the deeper you go, the quieter it feels. But also, the more real it becomes. This isn't emptiness. It's space. It's breath. It's your soul finally exhaling after years of holding it in. This isn't just some random motivational talk. This is a mirror. And right now, you're brave enough to look at it without flinching. You're not who you used to be. And that's not a loss. It's your first real victory. So, if these words are hitting something deep inside you, don't dismiss it. Don't brush it off like another passing video. Sit with it. Let it echo. Let it stir something within you. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to explain it to anyone. All you need is to honor the fact that something has shifted. And that shift, that's the beginning of everything. So if this spoke to you, drop just one word below. Whatever comes up, whatever this unlocked in you, that's enough. And know this, if this resonated, there's more waiting for you. You're not walking this alone anymore.